Happy 30th, Sophia. Now tell us, how does it feel to finally cash out that $5 million inheritance you've been sitting on since you were born? The fork slipped from my fingers and clattered against the china like a gunshot. Every head at the long mahogany table snapped toward my grandfather. The chandelier light caught the shock on my face and reflected it back 100 times. I laughed, a thin, broken sound. Grandpa, I never got an inheritance. Dead silence. You could have heard ice melt in the water glasses. My name is Sophia Ellis. For 30 years, I'd been the invisible daughter. The one who paid her own rent in a crumbling walk-up in Portland, who pulled all-nighters debugging code for startups that never remembered my name, who ate instant ramen while my little sister Ava jetted off to Santorini because she needed a break from grad school. Mom and Dad always said I was built different. Stronger. More resilient. Translation: disposable. Grandfather Henry's eyes narrowed. He slid a leather portfolio across the table. It landed in front of me with the weight of a gravestone. Open it. Inside were decades of statements. Withdrawals. Transfers. A river of money flowing out under my name. Only none of it ever reached me. European boarding schools for Ava. The down payment on the lake house. Mom's Range Rover. Dad's midlife crisis sailboat. Every signature crisp and damning. Rebecca Ellis. Jonathan Ellis. My parents' mom's wine glass trembled in her manicured hand. Henry, this is a misunderstanding. No, he said quietly. This is embezzlement. I don't remember leaving the restaurant. I only remember the rain on my face mixing with something warmer. My best friend Mara found me sitting on a bench outside, soaked to the bone. She didn't ask questions. She just wrapped her coat around me and whispered, "Whatever it is, we'll burn it down together." 2 days later, I sat in Grandfather's law office overlooking the Willamette River. The full forensic audit was worse than I imagined. $5 million had been set aside the day I was born. By the time I turned 18, when I was sleeping on friends' couches because my campus job didn't cover rent, less than $800,000 remained. The rest had been siphoned off, year after year, to keep the family fairy tale glittering. Grandfather didn't yell. He simply looked older than I'd ever seen him. I trusted them to be stewards, Sophia. I failed you. You didn't fail me, I said. My voice surprised me, steady, cold steel. They did. We scheduled the reckoning for the following Tuesday. Neutral ground. Recorded. No escape. I walked into the conference room wearing the black blazer I'd bought for job interviews I could never afford to fly to. Grandfather sat at the head, flanked by 2 attorneys who looked like they ate liars for breakfast. My parents arrived late, Mom clutching Dad's arm like it was a life raft. Ava trailed behind, confused, AirPods still in, until she saw my face and yanked them out. Grandfather didn't waste time on greetings. The lead attorney laid the bound audit on the table. 532 pages. Every lie in 12-point font. He began reading. Dates. Amounts. Purposes. Private high school tuition. Avalon Ellis. Second mortgage payoff. Rebecca and Jonathan Ellis. Destination wedding contribution. Avalon Ellis. With every line, the air thinned. Mom tried tears first. Then outrage. Then bargaining. Dad just stared at the table, shoulders curling inward like paper held too close to flame. Ava's voice cracked the silence. You told me Sophia didn't want help. That she liked struggling. That it made her better. She turned to me, eyes glassy. I believed you. Mom reached for her. Ava stepped back. I finally spoke. Do you know what it felt like to work 60-hour weeks and still choose between groceries and insulin? To watch you post Paris photos while I sold my winter coat for rent. My words came out calm, almost gentle. That scared them more than screaming ever could. Grandfather slid the final document across the table. Transfer of remaining assets. Sole control to Sophia Grace Ellis. Effective immediately. Irrevocable. Mom lunged for it. You can't, she'll waste it all. I signed my name in slow, deliberate strokes. She already did, I said. On you. Security escorted them out. Ava lingered in the doorway. I'm sorry, was all she managed before fleeing. 3 months later, I stood in my new loft. High ceilings, original brick, Windows that actually open. The first purchase I made with my own money that was always mine, was a framed photo, me and grandfather on the Oregon coast when I was 5. He's carrying me on his shoulders. We're both laughing like nothing could ever touch us. Some nights I still wake up counting pennies in my sleep. But the difference is, now I get to stop. To anyone reading this who's been told you're too sensitive for needing help, that your struggle is a personality trait, that love looks like silence when you're drowning, hear me. You are not broken for wanting what was promised. You are not selfish for taking back what was stolen. Sometimes justice doesn't roar. Sometimes it just hands you the keys and says, go live the life they tried to bury. And you do.